Leo, welcome to your monthly horoscope for March 2024. My name is Zadina. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and in this video, I will be going over all of the significant energies you will be moving through for the month of March. Now, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you align with my energy and enjoy my content. Now, let's get right into it. So as you can see, I have selected a chart for each week to give you a bit of a visual, and I've listed the transits on the left side of the screen. So I do want to cover some energies that were just coming out of the end of February, which was that dynamic Mercury, Sun, Saturn, Cazimi, which took place in your eighth house of psychological healing and transformation. Also, money coming in from outside resources and your partner's finances. So there may have been a lot showing up psychologically that you have been moving through. This could be completions, karmic endings, realizations, insight, understandings, what you no longer want in your with your in your experience, but just parts of aspects of yourself that you're done with, that you no longer want to carry with you. This can also be the ending of a 30-year cycle. It does take Saturn roughly 29 years to transit the zodiac. And so the last time that Saturn was in Pisces, well, Saturn's been in Pisces. Saturn entered Pisces March of 2023. So 29 years prior to that. So Saturn, it's been about 30 years that we've been moving through this cycle, and Saturn is now entering new territory of Pisces and reaching degree points that Saturn did not reach last year. So we're in this new territory of having Saturn and Pisces, and Saturn is, changing this area of your life in some way. Now, this is also our final weeks of having all planets direct, because April 1st, we're going to have Mercury station retrograde in Aries. So we will be getting into a bit of that energy, but we do want to take advantage of having all planets direct and really keep kind of getting things in motion, putting things in place that we want for the year. Now, on March 1st, we have the Sun sextile Jupiter, and we also have Venus sextiling Chiron. So the Sun sextiling Jupiter can really be bringing in some insight, some support for whatever you've been moving through when it has to do with that psychological healing, transformation, or, whatever you were moving through with your partner's finances or money coming in from outside resources. And then Venus sextile Chiron, this can be really great for, we're kind of coming off of that North Node Chiron conjunction, which we were in for about 2 weeks. It was a 2-week transit where we had Chiron and the North Node together, and we were all going through some type of, healing and transformation. There could have been a lot coming to the surface, aspects of yourself that you realized you're just done with, that you don't want to carry with you anymore. And this is more, around old trauma, old wounds, vulnerabilities that have been holding you back in some way, and realizing, those parts of yourself and how to release that, how to let that go. And so with Venus and sextiling Chiron, there really can be some beautiful support coming in for you around that. And then on the second, we're going to have Venus squaring Uranus. Now, Venus rules your 10th house of career and public reputation, and also your third house of community, neighbors, neighborhoods, your mind and your mindset, communication, also vehicles and local travel is in the third house. So there might be something unexpected that you're having to navigate around your career, around your public reputation, also around relationships, because you have Aquarius in the seventh house of relationships and one-on-one connections, business partnerships. So there can be something around that. I mean, you just had that Venus Mars conjunction in your seventh house, which would have been great for forming one-on-one connections. But this can also have to do with something very unexpected around a vehicle or, within your community that you're having to navigate. And also keep in mind that Venus is the ruler of the South Node right now, and we are entering eclipse season this month, which we will get into. But that South Node indicates, something that either something coming back from the past in this area of life, or something that we're going to be releasing and letting go of in some way. So it could be something very unexpected, kind of surfacing that you will have to eventually release and let go, or it could be, maybe someone coming back from the past. because Venus is in that seventh house. Now on the 8th, we have Mars squaring Uranus, and this is going to be quite intense. Mars still being in Aquarius at this point. This could be something very unexpected around a relationship. This could be something very unexpected around, I mean, you have Uranus in the 10th. It could be career, but I really feel like Mars rules your ninth house and is also the ruler of that north node. So, the ninth house rules higher education, higher knowledge, long distance travel, also belief systems, philosophy, religion. I mean, this really could be something kind of disruptive, chaotic, or sudden showing up around your belief systems and relationships. It could definitely form in that way. But I don't know if I would say probably don't travel at this time just because Mars is the ruler of that ninth and squaring Uranus. There could be something very unexpected showing up. But I don't know if I'd be doing any long distance travel. But also too, Mars being the ruler of that north node, there could be something very unexpected coming in that's shifting and changing your direction in some way. And this is something we're all moving through. And this is going to be felt collectively as well. Now, at that same time, we have Mercury conjunct Neptune and the Sun sextiling Uranus. And so the Sun sextiling Uranus is what is bringing in some support for the Mars square to Uranus. But Mercury conjunct Neptune is making things very confusing, very cloudy. We're not knowing the direction to move in. We're not able to think clearly with this transit. Mercury already doesn't do the greatest in Pisces, and then conjunct Neptune. There's just a lot of confusion at this time. Not being able to focus, think clearly, really have a solid understanding of the direction that we're moving in. Now, on the 9th, we're going to have Mercury enter Aries. So that really kind of helps. We go from having Mercury in Pisces, which can be very confusing, hard to focus, hard to really gain clarity. And then Mercury in Aries, where now it's like go, go, go. We want to implement, we want to move forward. We know what we want. We just have to be careful of not being too impulsive. Now, on the 10th, we have the new moon in Pisces and Mercury sextiling Pluto. So there can be something very powerful kind of showing up mentally at that time. But the new moon in Pisces is a great time to set intentions for the eighth house themes and topics. So, psychological healing and transformation, money coming in from outside resources, taxes and inheritance, stuff like that, your partner's finances. This is also when we enter eclipse season. We're going to start to feel the energy become a bit more heavier. And we're also going to start to feel how this eclipse energy is showing up for each of us individually. So start to pay attention at this point to what is showing up for you. And you have the nodes in your ninth and your third house. So this shows, these areas of life are going through a lot of changes, your belief systems and also your mindset, communication, possibly vehicles, possibly, something within your community and neighbors, siblings, cousins, all of those third house themes and topics. Then we get to the second week of March, and on the 11th, we have Venus entering Pisces, and we now have Saturn in Pisces. So Venus is exalted in Pisces. She loves being in Pisces. This is where there really can be some, beautiful, I would say like beautiful support coming in for that psychological healing and transformation that has been taking place. There can also be something, coming in around finances, your partner's finances. But we want to kind of, having Saturn here, which Saturn is already changing this area of your life up, forming more commitments, responsibilities. Saturn's having you, become more maybe responsible with finances, investments, things like that. There might be something that you're deciding that you want to invest in. This could also be too, maybe deciding something you want to invest in or purchase something, finance something, something along those lines. On the 16th and 17th, the sun is going to conjunct Neptune. And this can be a really beautiful energy for spirituality, intuition, something along those lines. The sun is literally our life force energy and consciousness. So there can be something very beautiful spiritually or energetically showing up for that psychological healing and transformation that's been taking place. Then we get to week 3, and on the 18th, we're going to have Mercury conjunct the North Node, and that is when Mercury enters pre-shadow. So Mercury is going to station direct on that North Node in April. So there really is a lot of rethinking life direction. There can be a lot that you're rethinking around belief systems, philosophy, religion, possibly traveling, possibly going back to school. That is when this really kind of starts to show up for you, and you want to start to pay attention to what you're thinking about, what you're rethinking, because you're going to be in this energy for over a month with Mercury pre-shadow and then Mercury retrograde and then Mercury post-shadow. So you want to pay attention to what is showing up during the Mercury pre-shadow, because this gives you an idea of what you're rethinking and reevaluating during the Mercury retrograde. So on the 19th and 20th, we're going to have the sun enter Aries. So we start to gain that momentum and energy kind of back, starting to have a lot of this Pisces energy shift into Aries. We're wanting to move forward. We're wanting to initiate. Now on the 20th, we will have Mercury conjunct Chiron. And so this is where there can be something shifting in your mindset or a thought around this healing process that's taken place, especially with that North Node Chiron conjunction. But also, we want to remember Mercury is going to retrograde over Chiron. So there is a lot that we're healing mentally. Maybe the way we think, our mindset is shifting. So we want to be paying attention to how this is showing up. Because again, we'll be in that energy and rethinking that for a few weeks. On the 21st, we're going to have Venus conjunct Saturn. So that is where there can be some type of commitment formed with finances. Maybe you're deciding to finance something. This literally could be financing a car, because Venus rules your third house of vehicles. And then, finance, this would be, a perfect representation of you deciding to purchase a car. You apply for financing, you get it. Definitely something along those lines. Then on the 22nd, we're going to have Mars enter Pisces. So Mars rules our motivation, willpower, and drive. When Mars enters Pisces, that starts to kind of diminish a little bit. It's like there's a lack of clarity with what we want to take action with. So it's an interesting energy. But Mars, being in that 8th house, is maybe you do decide that you want to finance a vehicle, but then you feel very scared, very overwhelmed, like, oh my goodness, what did I just get myself into? Or this could also be too, where maybe you decide like, oh, I can finance a car, I want to finance a house, I want to finance this, I want to finance that. So we want to be careful that we're not getting in too deep over our heads with this transit, because you could very quickly become overwhelmed. Then we get to the final week of March, and on the 25th, we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Libra, right here in your third house. So I want you to think back to October of 2023. What were you moving through? What was showing up for you? Because this is a completion, a finalizing, more to the story. I look at the nodes and eclipses. Every time we have an eclipse, we have more to that story playing out. But the nodes take about 18 months to transit the sign, and that is a story playing out over 18 months. So every time we have an eclipse, we have more energy, more to that story coming in that we're having to navigate. But we had our solar eclipse October of 2023. So something was beginning, something was starting, something may have come back from the past for you, or there was an understanding of what needed to be released and let go of, because it is that south node, which indicates, the past, but also indicates releasing and letting go. And so there's something completing here. There's something maybe you're deciding you're done with. Maybe you sell a vehicle, maybe because it's in that third house of vehicles, it could have to do with your community, it could have to do with siblings, cousins, communication, also your mind and your mindset. But there's more to the story, and there is a completion here. Remember, it's a full moon, so it's a culmination point. Then on the 27th, we have Venus sextiling Uranus. So when Venus forms a sextile to Uranus, there can be, something unexpected, but it's almost like unexpected support, or it could be Uranus being in that 10th house. It could be something around career, public reputation. It could be around vehicles, because Venus rules that third house. Venus also rules, yeah, your 10th house of career. So it could be something around your career showing up unexpected, but it's a sextile. So it's something you have to take action on. It could be an opportunity. It's not a negative aspect, but it is something that does require action to be taken. It's not a trine where it's just this easy flowing energy. We have to take action with it. So it could be some really beautiful, unexpected support coming in that you can really take advantage of. All right, Leo, I hope that this horoscope helps you navigate the energies for March. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget that we are entering eclipse season, so the energy is about to become intense. We want to be paying attention as we move through March to what is showing up for us because of that Mercury retrograde energy and because we're in eclipse season. So, again, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy my content and align with my energy, and I will connect with you in the next one.